Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem Al Shai Bashem Rakakodash. Shalom to the 144,000 rest elect out there. Shalom to you all. And I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to entitle this video, I asked chat, when did or does this prophecy take place? Micah 5 and 7. And I'm going to actually go to Micah 5 and 7. I'm going to read. Let me go ahead and read it. Actually, let me go to the very top. Let me get the headline. Birth of the King in Bethlehem. So from the first verse, down, it's the prophecy of the Messiah. Then from the 7th verse down, it's what the Most High, the Heavenly Father, is going to do and lifting up the Israelites. So let me go ahead and read it. It's only 15 verses, so we're talking about from the 7th verse to the 15th verse. There's 8 verses, so we'll read the whole thing, then we'll come back to the chat. And the chat says it's a future thing, but watch how they break it down. It says, Micah 5 and 7, and the remnant of Jacob shall be in the midst of many people. The many people represent the other nations, as a dew from Yahweh, as the showers upon the grass, that tarrieth not for man, nor waiteth for the sons of men. They will not regard their kings or princes. And the remnant of Jacob or Yaquab shall be among the Gentiles, the other nations, in the midst of many people, the other nations, the Gentiles, as a lion among the beasts of the forest, as a young lion, like a lion's whelp in Genesis 49, that means a young lion, as a young lion among the flocks of sheep, as a young lion among the flocks of sheep. What do you do if you put a lion, you have a farm and you put a lion where sheep are? The lion's going to devour every last one of them sheep. It could be 1,000 of them. He'll devour every last one of them. Or she, the lioness or the lion. Because the lioness is the hunter. She hunts and brings the food back to the male lion. So it's describing as a young lion among the flocks of sheep, who, if he, the lion, go through, both teareth down and treadeth down and teareth in pieces, and none can deliver. So now let me just do this. I'm going to hit this right here, and I'm going to go to the chat. I'm going to show you how these people don't know what the hell they're talking about. So this is the quote. Okay, you know what I got to do? Let me go to the 6th verse. It's telling me to go to the 6th verse. And they shall waste the land of Assyria, which is another name for Assyria is this system that we're in, with the sword, and the land of Nimrod in the entrances. We're not going to go to the land of Nimrod thereof. Thus shall he deliver us from the Assyrian. Like when you go read Isaiah 19 and speaks about Egypt and Assyria, it's not talking about the Assyrian people and the Egyptian people. It's talking about the Israelites living in Egypt and Assyria which is not even talking about the actual Egypt and Assyria. It's talking about America or the Americas, because remember you got the Israelites living in Central South America and Canada. So Egypt is America. Babylon is America in Revelation. When he cometh into our land, and when he treadeth within our borders. Read that again. And they shall waste the land of Assyria with the sword, and the land of Nimrod in the entrances thereof. Thus shall he deliver us, Yahweh Bashem shall deliver us from the Assyrians, when he, Yahweh, cometh into our land, or Yahweh Shai, and when he treadeth within our borders, where we located. So it directed me to go to the 6th verse. So I should have started at the 6th verse. It says the 7th verse. Then the remnant of Jacob shall be in the midst of many people, like the dew from the Lord, like showers on the grass, which delay not for a man, nor wait for the children of man. So the Most High going to put a fair spirit on Jake to overcome these nations. That's before the missiles come. You see that these Israelites, the Latin tribes and so forth, and even Jake, they're coming against these agents that are in there. This is Jacob's trouble. I don't know if they went up there and told you, but we in Jacob's trouble. And it's just going to get worse. It's going to escalate. People are saying, well, we're not in Jacob. We in Jacob's trouble, but it's going to get things are not going to, 6 months from now, things are not going to go back to normal. Okay, we can go back to a narrow 45 when the Shamlemic, speaking in code, of course, came. That's when you had the George Floyd's death. You had all kind of chaos. You had chaos, man, around the whole country and around the world. And they found out there was people that's not going to take that thing, and people that people would wear the mask if they go on public transportation or go into a store or something, but they would take it right off. So how in the hell can you have a law enforcement find out if everybody got a mask on? That shows you squarely that they didn't believe that shit. But a lot of our people did. I have friends, childhood friends, that did it, and they, as soon as they did it, they went to the spirit world, and they knew they knew why they were going to go to the spiritual world. So when another pandemic comes, the people that had family members that took it, they're not going to take it. They said, "No, this is bullshit." Especially under Nero 47, nobody trusts this guy. Not even the Edomites, the Red Hatters. So it's going to get worse. So they're talking this November 1st, they're going to cut, I believe partially, they're going to cut the food stamp program throughout the country because of the shutdown. Now the last shutdown that they had, I can look at, let me do this. I think the last one that they had was in 2018. Who was the president at that time? Give me a second here. A list of government shutdowns, U.S. Let's see what happens. Okay. The most significant shutdown includes the 35-day shutdown of 2018 to
According to
2019.
Wikipedia, the Free Encyclopedia, the most significant shutdowns include the 35-day shutdown of 2018-2019 during the first presidency of Donald Trump, caused by a dispute over expanding barriers on the U.S.-Mexico border, the 21-day shutdown of 1995-1996 during the Bill Clinton administration, over opposition to major spending cuts, and the 16-day.
So let's go back and read again. The most significant, currently, this is a month and change of the shutdown. So that this is actually we're in the time of the rule of Nero 47. So they just mentioned 2 shutdowns. That's all they were. Well, okay, we're talking about from 95. Damn. So anyway, the last shutdown was for about a month and 5 days. The most significant shutdowns include the 35-day shutdown of 2018 to 2019 during the first presidency of Donald Trump, caused by a dispute over expanding barriers on the U.S.-Mexico border. Remember, they're building that wall. So we didn't even remember that. That was, some years ago. That was before the pandemic too. So here we are in it again. It's getting worse and worse, and we don't know when they're gonna come back. But hey, when they cut them food stamps, they're gonna lose it. You're gonna have more riots in the street, and then he's gonna have more agents come into cities, and that builds more riots. That's riots. That's this guy is bringing this country to the brink of disaster. And then you got the nations that they don't trust him or they don't like him. So you guys, we're not in Jacob's trouble. We in Jacob's trouble. It just depends on how deep we're going to go, and we're going to go deeper into it. It's going to get worse. Things are going to get worse before they get worse. You guys falling off, man. This is not the time to fall out the truth. So let's come on back over here. Okay, so I read this in the ESV. It says, so I asked, when did this prophecy take place? This is a prophetic statement and not something tied to a specific moment in time. Instead, it reflects a future hope or outcome. So it's a future. They're telling you it's a future prophecy. For the remnant of Jacob, a recurring theme in the prophets referring to the faithful survivors of Israel after judgment. Here's how this prophecy is typically understood. Time frame, fulfillment. Micah 5 contains both messianic and restoration prophecies. Verse 7 follows the famous messianic prophecy. When you look at messianic prophecy, that's ultimately when the Lord comes back. In Micah 5:2, which is the birth of the Messiah, about a ruler coming from Bethlehem, commonly understood by Christians as a prophecy about the Lord, of course. Verse 7 shifts focus from the ruler to the remnant of Israel. This is talking about right now. We're in the middle of this prophecy, Micah 5 and 7. But look at how these devils break this thing down. It said this verse is not necessarily about a single historical event, but points to a future time when they're telling you it's a future thing. The people of the Most High, the remnant of Jacob, will be a blessing among the nations. It doesn't say that. We're going to go back and read it again. It says a blessing among the nations, right? So we're going to overcome it and we're going to bless everybody. It says like dew or gentle rain. Nope, didn't say gentle rain. It says they will be independent of human influences which do not wait for man nor depend on man, suggesting divine origin and purpose. So the fulfillment can be viewed in a few ways: historical, theological views, post-exilic or post-exile period, and they give you the dates right there. Intertestamental, meaning in between two testaments, the Old Testament and the New Testament. So what happened between those two time periods? Or Second Temple period? Because when Yahushua came on the scene, the Second Temple had already been built. Others see Israel's scattered presence among the nations in this period and their influence through synagogue and moral teachings. It doesn't say that. Oh, the Israelites is going to teach everybody, nations, and they're going to be gentle. No, it doesn't say that. As part of this fulfillment, Messianic age, Christian interpretation. Many Christians interpret this as a prophecy of the church era where the faithful spiritual remnant or spiritual Israel. So they're saying Micah 5 and 7, when it speaks about the Jacob, it's actually talking about the body of believers. You can be of any nation, your spiritual Israel, which is complete crap. And disperse among the nations and serve as a blessing or witness to the world through the Messiah, which they believe is a white guy. Future fulfillment, Jewish or dispensational Christian view. We're also dispensationalists. We're futurists. We're premillennialists. Some traditions see this prophecy as still awaiting a literal fulfillment, and it is going to be a literal fulfillment, where a remnant of Israel or Israelites will play a central role in the end times. Yeah, because they're going to raise hell. They're going to raise hell. Summary: Micah 5 and 7 has not taken place in a single historical moment, but is part of the broader prophetic vision of restoration and blessing through the Most High's fulfillment for faithful remnant. Depending on your theological perspective, it may be seen as partially fulfilled in Israel's history, which is not true, spiritually fulfilled in the church, which is not true, awaiting literal future fulfillment, and literal Israel. Okay, so let me come over here. So let me read the rest of this. And the remnant of Jacob shall be in the midst of many people, as the dew from the Yahweh, as the showers upon the grass, that tarrieth not for man, nor waiteth for the sons of men. They shall not regard their kings and princes. 2 Ezra 15. And I believe it actually starts at the 15th verse. A verse. And the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles, in the midst of many people, as a lion among the beasts of the forest, as a young lion among the flocks of sheep. The young lion represents Israel, right? Means Israel. The young lion represents the lion's whelp, a young lion. It says a young lion. The flock of sheep have to represent the Gentiles or the people. So this is what I'm going to do. Okay, as a young lion I'm on the shot who, if you go through posterior down the bed. Let me do this. Let's see how they break this down. Because it's talking about violence. This right here, this part of the verse is talking about violence. It says, in the remnant of Jacob, the Israelites shall be among the other nations, in the midst of many other nations, heathens, as a lion among the beasts of the forest, as a young lion among the flock of sheep, who, if the lion go through, both teareth down and treadeth down and teareth in pieces, and none can deliver. That's violence right there. So let's see what the chat says. Let me do this. Give me a second here. In Micah 5 and 8. What does this verse I think that's the wrong way of spelling verse. Okay, verse. What does this verse mean? And Micah 5 and 8, as a young lion, let me put that in quotations, and none can deliver. As a young lion, in Micah 5 and 8, as a young lion among the flock of sheep, who, if he go through, both treadeth down and teareth in pieces, and none can deliver. What does this verse mean? And these scholars know what it means. Because the 7th verse said, oh, they're going to teach the other nations, and, you know, they're going to gentle reign. Okay. Micah 5 and 8 says, and the remnant, this is KJV, and the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles in the midst of many people, as a lion among the beasts of forest, as a young lion among the flocks of sheep, who, if he go through, both treadeth down and teareth in pieces, and none can deliver. This verse is strong and vivid in imagery. Let's break it down. In other words, it's not going to end well for the Gentiles. The remnant of Jacob, faithful Israelites who survive judgment, will be powerful and dominant among the nations, like a young lion among sheep, fearsome, unstoppable, and victorious. Oh, now they're cooking with coconut oil. Read that again. The remnant of Jacob, because sometimes they have no choice but to tell you the truth. You can't get around the 8th verse of this chapter. Chapter 5. It said, the remnant of Jacob, faithful Israelites who survive judgment. That's why it says the remnant, because the Israelites are going to die in this thing too, will be powerful and dominant among the nations, the Gentiles. Like a lion among sheep, fearsome, unstoppable, who waiteth not for the sons of men, right? And victorious. Now they said, when you go to this breakdown of the 7th verse, they said this is a future prophecy. It's not taking place. Matter of fact, let me do this. They said summary, right? It says, or awaiting literal future fulfillment. So they had no choice but to tell the truth. And there it goes. Let me read that again. The remnant of Jacob, faithful Israelites who survived judgment, which are the elect, the faithful Israelites, will be powerful and dominant on the physical level among the nations, the Gentiles, like a young lion among the sheep, fearsome, unstoppable, and victorious. So we're gonna get the upper hand. Not the prophets. We don't involve ourselves in this. We just prophets. Our job is just to prophesy. The remnant of Jacob refers to the faithful portion of Israel, right? The elect that remains after divine judgment. Divine judgment meaning judgment from the above, often associated with the Most High's chosen people, which are the Israelites, literally, purified and ready to fulfill his purposes. Ezekiel 25:12 on down. It says, not according to our anger, but according to his anger. Our anger is not good enough. Our anger is not strong enough. Among the Gentiles, many people implies that the Most High's people are scattered and living among the nations. This reflects the diaspora, scattering of Israel, or a missionary presence, depending on the interpretation. As a lion among the flock of sheep, lions are predators. Lions are predators. Sheep are defenseless. Lions are predators. The Most High compared us to lions. Jacob to lions. Lions are predators. Sheep are defenseless. They don't even run. They just kind of take a few steps back. They what do you call it? They bleep. They're not going to throw. They're not built like that. They're not sheep, lambs, and sheep. They're not built to fight in any completely docile, completely defenseless. Okay, so let's look up the word predator. Let's look up the word predator. We know what it means, but let's get a little deeper dive. Predator meaning. Right, the movie Predator, his whole job was to take these people out. Predator. An animal that naturally preys on others. It's not like the lion's not a bad, wicked animal. It's the Most High made him that way. You're going to have to catch something, you're going to have to kill it, and you're going to have to eat it. And you got to eat it raw. That's a predator. Wolves are major predators of rodents. But guess what? A lion is a major predator over the wolf and the sheep. Let me read this again. As a lion among the flocks of sheep, lions of Judah, Israel, the flocks of sheep are the other nations. Lions are predators, sheep are totally defenseless. The imagery is of power, fearlessness, and superiority. These are black supremacists. These black supremacists. Then you're right. We are. We are supremacists. Just like when you took this under Manifest Destiny and the what do you call it? The Monroe Doctrine, and the fact that you went through the song for the Marines from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. We'll fight our country's battle and land on the sea. What country's battle? Your country is Esau. I mean, is Petra. What do you call it? Mount Seir. That's your land. Anything outside of that, you stole it. You stole it. It says the young lion and strong and vigorous one, meaning a lion's whelp. When you go to Genesis chapter 49, I believe that's the 10th verse if I'm not mistaken. I'm not going to go to it. I went through it the other day. It says that Judah is a lion's whelp. So when you look up the word whelp, it means a young, strong, virile lion. It said, but as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? Who shall make him a whelp again? It says the young lion, a strong and vigorous one, tears and tramples without resistance. That waiteth not for the Son of Man. No one can stop it. That waiteth not for the sons of men. That waiteth not for men. They will not regard their... And another thing too, you had this admiral, Major Admiral, was with Jake. He resigned, man. I don't know the full backstory, but based on this shit, the boats being blown up, and a lot of those boats that were blown up at the orders of the chief, the chief commander, they were saying that these guys were fishermen. We know them. These guys weren't pushing no drugs over there. Now he's going after Colombia. This man's he's out of pocket, bro. He came against Venezuela. Now he's going after Colombia. He's hitting all those Latin American countries. All you got to do, these guys are sending drugs. They're sending drugs up to the United States. And then these stupid, this land, which is America, which I call it the land of idiocracy. You should watch that movie. You can watch it on YouTube for free. The name of the movie is Idiocracy. If you see that movie, you're going to say, yo, these people are fucking stupid. And then the movie is made based in America. The IQs went down dramatically. It said the prophecy contrasts two roles of the remnant of Jacob, or Yaquab. In Micah 5:7, the remnant is like dew, gentle, life-giving, and blessing. Nope. The dew represents is going to cut the grass. That the water is going to cover the dew covers every part of the grass. In other words, none of you Gentiles are going to escape. In 5 and 8, the remnant is like a lion. No. Strong, dangerous, unstoppable. These two aspects suggest that the Most High can be a blessing or a judgment depending on how the nations respond. No, they're not gonna. They can respond whatever way they want. They're gonna get fucked up. It's a prophecy of empowerment. The Most High's remnant, though once oppressed, will be fearless and victorious. That means what? You're gonna overcome the enemy, and what comes of that is slaughter. Interpretation, perspective, historical context. It's not. We're not dealing with that. Christian interpretation. Some see this as a church, the spiritual remnant. No, wrong again. Empowered by the Most High to prevail, the lion imagery may parallel the Messiah as the Lion of Judah and his people triumphant through him. prophetic. Let's see what this says. End time view. Some see this as still future, a prophecy that the remnant of Israel will play a powerful role in the last days, bringing both judgment and justice. To who? To the Gentiles. Come on down to summary. Micah 5 and 8 declares that the Most High's faithful people, the remnant of Jacob, will be among the nations, not isolated. Right. Oh, that kills this flea doctrine. Oh, we got to go. And I believe, I can't prove it, but I believe Bishop Nathaniel, I believe he wants to go back to Africa. All the tribes are in Africa. We're going back to Africa. I don't know if he's doing that or not. You know, I'm not putting words in anybody's mouth. But Tazadakis said they were going to go back to Israel. I believe that was in 2010. They said in 2012 they were going to go back to Israel. And they wound up not going back, and the Most High wound up putting them to sleep April 1st, 2020. It said, be among nations, not isolated. So we're going to be in the midst of the nations. Be like a young lion. And then these agents, these Nero 47 agents, they're Edomites. Every once in a while you'll see a Jacob in there. But they're all Edomites. So guess what? Who's the target? They're going to be Edomites, man. Now you got these cartels that putting out bounties on these guys, and a lot of these people are following these guys home because there's a time where they got to take that mask off, and that's why they wear the mask. So when they finish their 9 to 5, they got to be a regular person. So that's guerrilla warfare, man. So it's going to get hotter. It's going to get hotter. It says, be like a young lion among sheep, unstoppable, fearless, and victorious. And we read that. Serve both as a blessing and a force of judgment or power. We're not going to be nice to the Gentiles and all of a sudden destroy them. When it speaks about the rain and the dew, it's talking about nobody's going to escape. Depending on the response of the no. Ain't no depending on the response of nobody. So come on, let me go back, and then I'm gonna get ready to close it. So now, at least they're admitting that we're gonna come against them. At least they told the truth. The chat told the truth on that one. So let's read to the end. Thine hand shall be lifted up upon thine adversaries, thy enemies, and all thine enemies shall be cut off. What does it mean, cut off? Your spirit separated from your body. Tenth verse. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith Yahweh, that I will cut off thy horses, your trucks, your cars, your planes, your trains, your boats, everything going to be cut off out of the midst of thee, and I will destroy thy chariots, your planes, your cars, your trains, your boats, your cars, and I will cut off the cities I will cut off the cities of thy land. That's 2nd Ezra 15 and 2nd Ezra 16. And throw down all thy strongholds. Strongholds are being pulled down by the truth. We're bringing down their lies, their strong lies, but their strongholds now represent their fortresses, their bases, their fallout shelters, because they're gonna get, Isaiah 24 says we're gonna put them in a pit, then we're gonna grab them out that pit, and we're gonna have them work. First job they're gonna do, that's in Ezekiel 39 is they're going to, put flags of dead bodies, and they're going to bury them dead bodies. So them dead bodies could become a part of the soil. See, the stuff that you eat from the ground, from the soil, part of that soil is dead bodies. They get broken back down into earth. And I will cut off the cities of thy land and throw down all thy strongholds. And I will cut off witchcraft, because your power comes from the left-hand side, out of thine hand. And thou shalt have no more soothsayers, because your power comes from the left-hand side. You can read Isaiah 47 verse 10 on down. All these super elite, they all got to bow down to the spiritual demon Satan. They showed you that with the Diddy trial. That was a demonic ritual. The sex demon that goes back to BLPR, the temple prostitutes. Cassie was a temple prostitute. The women that they hired, they were temple prostitutes. And he was a low guy. He was a low guy in this thing. Now, they implicated a lot of actors and actresses and athletes and stuff, but they didn't arrest them, if you notice that. Because they would have to be arrested too. But they were after him. He pissed off somebody with the Ciroc deal or whatever the case may be. And he was a millionaire, but he got big-headed. So they said, okay, he going to do another year. He got like a year and change time served. He got 4 years. He's going to go on some type of program, some drug program, and he'll be out in a year, 9 months to a year. And then you niggas are going to love him again. Some of y'all. So don't be surprised if next year he's out. And he's the middle management. It says, thy graven images also will I cut off, and thy standing images, meaning when that earthquake hits this planet, all these buildings, these high rises, they're going to all fall. So the whole planet Earth is going to have to be built back up. It says, out of the midst of thee, and thou shalt no more worship the work of thine hand. That's Esau, your idols. And I will pluck up thy groves, thy churches, out of the midst of thee, and I will destroy thy cities, mainly America, the cities of America, which is a city, and cities within a city. And I will execute vengeance in anger and fury upon the heathen, such as they have not heard. Time of Jacob's trouble. You can't compare the time of Jacob's trouble to any time in history. Armageddon, the whole nine. So anyway, see this part right here then go into, it's fairly easy. It's basically, in a nutshell, birth of the king in Bethlehem, which is the Messiah. Right? Third verse, therefore will I give them until the time that she hath travaileth, have brought forth. Then the remnant of his brethren, the Israelites, shall return unto the children of Israel. And that goes into, ultimately, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom coming together. That's in Isaiah 11, Jeremiah 50. Judah and Israel shall be oppressed together. Talking about now. So anyway, shalom, on to the next.